How's it going, guys? This is Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist. I want to ask you a question. Una pregunta, one question. What makes art so valuable? I've asked this question over and over in different places, different platforms, different social media groups. And some of them have thousands of people in there. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of people there. So I've gotten hundreds of answers, different answers. Not thousands maybe, but hundreds of different answers. And many hundreds. So many, because I was reading. And so I asked the question, what makes art so valuable? What makes it valuable, right? I think that our industry has a skewed idea of art. And this is legitimate. I'm trying to ask you, what do you think? Maybe put on the comments below. I don't know. What do you think makes art so valuable? Because I've gotten the same answers over and over and over in different ways, but it's the same answer. It's something that I cannot control. I am not able to control the value of the art. This is the answer that keeps popping up over and over. The auctions control it. The money laundering. The what do they say? There's so many things. The best marketing. Or the best artwork, and the best marketing is close, but it's not what you think, because most people think that it's got to do with just with just looking at it from a very negative marketing. That's what they refer to it, not from a positive place, right? Of, well, I believe in this, so I'm going to tell as much people as possible about it from that place, right? Most people, when they talk about marketing, they talk about like some sort of deceiving, oh, it's some crappy stuff that just gets shared everywhere, and then it becomes this perception that it's not really true. When we talk about stuff like that, these are the kind of answers that I've been getting. Like, oh, it's this perception, it's not true. It's people just make up the value, and on and on and on and on. It's kind of like a sour, thing. A bitter, sour thing that artists, talk about when it comes to the value of art. So I believe that our industry, this is what I believe personally, our industry has this thing skewed. It's kind of off, maybe even a bit broken. I don't know. Why is it that we have these ideas of value? Why is it that we have these ideas of value being something that you cannot control, that it's something that you cannot pinpoint somewhere? And the reason I believe that our industry is off in this is because artwork has been separated. Okay, bear with me. The idea of artwork has been separated. We have cut the idea of artwork in half. We call it the spiritual esoteric value. Okay, I'm calling it that, but that's, we call it this whole thing you cannot measure, what I feel for it, what my life and blood and soul, right? And then we say, oh, and then the collector value, like the stuff that nobody cares about, So I'm just very confused, because I believe that if we come from that point, from that standpoint, then all is lost, because I know something you don't, so you can never understand my value. It's like, of course I understand that your mom, your dad, your auntie, your family knows that you love art, and everybody loves, everybody that knows you understands how important it is to you, and you want to tell the people of the world how important it is to you. Of course, we all know that. Everybody, my kids, my son's Monet's doodles are much more important to me than maybe, I don't know, some artwork out there in a gallery that's 10 grand or whatever, maybe even more. I don't know. When I see the doodles, I'm like, my heart breaks, I'm like, my heart, it just pumps, really hard when I see my kids' doodles, right? Because it has so much value to me, right? But I can't go and exchange that to the world. The world will not relate to that, right? Unless I make it, my point to try to get them to understand. And then maybe they'll start relating to it. And then maybe they see the value too. But the world can't see that. The world can't measure that value. So here's where I'm coming, okay? Here's where I come in. Guys, don't split it. Don't split it. When you split it, you're trying to make sense of it. You're trying to make sense of why you can't sell shit. This is the problem. I had this problem before. I encounter this challenge over and over and over and over. When you are making sense of the exoteric value of art, most likely, not always, but most likely, probably 99.9.9.9, I don't know. I don't know what the math of that is. %. You're making sense of why you're not commissioning work, why you're not getting commissions, why you're not getting gallery exhibits, why you're not selling work. Because now you go into a place where you're like, man, it's just that I'm not understood, So I'm going to not bother about the actual pragmatic logic way the world interacts with each other. The way the world works is we exchange value. We exchange value. That's the way the world works, guys. The problem is that we make it like, oh, it's the money hungry, or oh, it's the super hippie, spiritual, blah blah blah. That it's neither or. Why not have both? Why not recognize that yes, art in itself is invaluable, right? But everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Think about a photograph of your granny, or someone you loved a lot, your mom, I don't know, so whatever. Think about a photograph. Maybe a photograph when you were a kid, or your children when they were little. Of course it's invaluable. Of course you wouldn't change that. You wouldn't trade that for anything. but no one else cares. Only you do. So you can't exchange that. It's not exchangeable. For value, this is where I come in, guys, again. Okay? For value to be worth anything, it's got to be exchangeable. It's got to be something you can exchange. Right? It's not necessarily just supply and demand. It's something you have to be able to exchange. And until we get that as a culture, the art is supposed to be exchanged. When we get to that place where we want to move on to that place, we got to do it. Okay? Don't look at it so esoteric, guys. Everybody knows you love it, but you have to go beyond that point. Take care. Till next time.